What is up, fellas? We are back for another UFC predictions video. This time for UFC 300, Pereira versus Hill. Right there. Ah, fellas, we're here. Finally, after 10,000 years, we've made it through many a Apex main event. um, I've been sick as fuck the last 2 days, so energy's gonna be down here for this video. But yeah, let's fucking jump right in. New subs go on the board, you know the deal. Let's fucking go. Our early our early prelim opener, uh Davison Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. Now guys, I got some interesting takes about this fight. Davison Figueiredo should win this fight, but I've been having visions. I've been having ancient visions. The Mayans wrote this down on their calendar in 1700 BC. I kind of feel like he's going to get caught by Cody Garbrandt. I'm not sure why. Well, actually, I am sure why. I, I'm I'm picking Davison Figueiredo because logistically, I don't mean to sound like Anthony Smith here, but on paper he should win this fight. Cody Garbrandt has won a couple, but they've been significant step downs in competition. Like Brian Kelleher, who cares about Brian Kelleher? He's terrible. Davison Figueiredo made a successful transition to bantamweight, beat Rob Font, which I didn't think he would do. He looked good in that fight too. But the reason I'm a little bit worried about this matchup for him is I hope he doesn't go into this fight thinking he can take bantamweight power because he took Rob Font shots. Does that make sense? Because Rob Font hits like a woman. Uh, I and Figgy kind of does get hit in the face a lot, so I worry maybe Cody catches him. And I've been having visions of Cody Garbrandt slumping Figueiredo out cold in like the first round or two. But I'm still going with Davison Figueiredo because my reasoning of him being a better overall fighter in mixed martial arts should prevail, right? Davison Figueiredo, good power in his hands, good striking, good wrestling. He showed it against Rob Font, was able to take him down pretty easily. His jiu-jitsu is pretty good too. He definitely has better submissions than Cody Garbrandt, and I think he could probably win this fight any which way, barring Cody Garbrandt bonks him on the head and kills him in the first round. But that wouldn't happen, right, guys? Uh, I'm gonna go with Davison Figueiredo. I think he's probably he should TKO Cody, man. Anytime Cody gets hit by somebody with power nowadays, he just kind of folds over. Uh, we'll see. I don't know. I'll go Davison Figueiredo TKO over Cody Garbrandt in this matchup. Moving up to lightweight, Bobby King Green versus Jim Miller. Happy for Jim Miller. He finally made it to UFC 300. But I think he's gonna lose this fight. Bobby Green. Now, I'm a little hesitant to say I think he loses this fight. If Bobby Green wasn't coming off of 13 brain hemorrhages, a brain aneurysm, 13 different knockouts in the span of 10 seconds, thanks to Jalen Turner, uh, I would be a lot more confident in picking Bobby Green. Uh, I'm still going to pick him because I think he should win this fight. Jim Miller has looked good lately against a lower level of opponent, in my opinion. Uh, Jim Miller's got power in his hands, power in his right. He throws combos pretty well. I think if he wants to win this fight, he needs to throw the combos that he was using against Benavidez, ending with the leg kick, ending with the low calf kick. Because trying to find Bobby Green with your hands, if you're not like a monstrous freak like Jalen Turner or Drew Dober, it's not very easy. Bobby Green's very fast. He's going to have a speed advantage in this fight. He's going to be very hard to track down with the hands. He has good wrestling defense. I think he could stuff a Jim Miller takedown. I do really believe that pretty easily. I think Bobby Green could even get a takedown. Not like he's going to shoot, but he could. Bobby Green's wrestling's not the worst thing in the world. It just looks bad when he's fighting Islam Makhachev. You know what I mean? And I think Bobby Green should just be able to style on Jim Miller, honestly, to a decision. Would I like to see Jim Miller win? and then be the first guy to win on UFC 100, 200, 300, and the only guy to ever make it to those three events? Yes, I would. That would be cool. I'd be fine with getting this pick wrong, but I do think Bobby Green's just a little bit faster, a little bit sharper, and I think Jim Miller's going to struggle to track him down. I think he needs to work his leg kicks early and often if he wants to slow Bobby Green down. But we'll see. But I'm going to go with a Bobby Green decision here, I think, over Jim Miller, logistically. Moving up to women's strawweight, Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. First underdog of the card. I'm going with Marina Rodriguez. Jessica Andrade is sketchy to me. I don't like I don't like picking on Jessica Andrade, and I don't like picking against Jessica Andrade because she's fucking wildly inconsistent. She's got good power. She throws in combos sometimes, unless she runs up at you like a retard and then gets chinned by Yan Xiaonan in like fucking 3 minutes. Uh, I she's just so inconsistent, dude. I could see how Jessica Andrade could win this fight by implementing her grappling. I could easily see that. But I think, you know, I think she's going to want to stand and bang a little bit. And I think Marina Rodriguez is just a better striker outright than Jessica Andrade. I don't think she has the same amount of power as Jessica Andrade. But man, is her tie clinch nasty. She was beating the fucking dog shit out of Michelle Watterson. That shit was brutal. Uh, Knees up in the clinch, and Andrade is short as hell, dude. That step in fucking knee is gonna be right there to hit her in the mouth. I think Marina Rodriguez just needs to stick with shots up the middle to deter Jessica Andrade from wanting to wrestle, and I think she'll be able to outstrike Jessica Andrade and win herself like a decision here. Jessica Andrade does have a path to victory here, though. I think just landing big shots and then going for the takedown would be a good way for Andrade to win. But I'm going to be bold. I'm going to go with the underdog and Marina Rodriguez here to get herself a decision win over Jessica Andrade with her superior striking, in my opinion. Moving up to lightweight, Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano. Oh, this is a banger. I'm going with Jalen Turner. Moicano had a good fight against Drew Dober, got himself a decision win there, but he did take a pretty substantial amount of damage. You know, he was hurt bad by Drew Dober on a couple of occasions in that fight. And my thing is, Moicano fought Drew Dober. How long ago was this? I just gotta check. It was like very recently. He fought him in fucking February. It's been 2 months. It's been 2 months, and he's fighting Jalen Turner. I don't know how you could ever want to fight Jalen Turner on 2 months' notice after the fucking CTE extravaganza he gave Bobby Green. Bold of him. But yeah, I'm going with Jalen Turner. I just think he's going to catch Moicano on the feet. Moicano's a hittable guy. He is a very tough guy. But man, it just 6'3", the range, the power he has, the shot selection, the body kicks, the head kicks that Jalen Turner has. I think it's going to be hard for Moicano. I think Moicano could get a takedown and maybe submit Jalen Turner. I definitely think that's at the table. But I think the highest probability here is Jalen Turner just catches Moicano on the feet and gets himself like a TKO victory with ground and pound or something like that. That's what I'm seeing. I don't think Jalen Turner's an absolute zero in the grappling either. But, I mean, Moicano, he floats very well. And I think he has a distinct jiu-jitsu advantage over Jalen Turner. But I'm still picking Turner because I think the striking gap is just humongous, especially with the frame and the size and the power that Turner carries. And Moicano's coming 2 months off of a fight where he did take some damage. He was cut open, he was bleeding, he was wobbled bad a couple of times. I just don't like that for him. I'm going to go with Jalen Turner here. I think he's going to get himself a TKO win over Renato Moicano. Although I wouldn't hate it if Moicano won, just because I like the guy. Moving up to the regular prelims, Sodiq Yusuff versus Diego Lopes. Everybody on Twitter's favorite fighter, Diego Lopes. I like Diego Lopes too, to be honest. This fight I've kind of I'm not super sure on, because I think Diego Lopes can win this fight pretty easily, but I only think he does it in like the first round. I think if this fight gets out of the first round, I think Sodiq Yusuff is going to start to beat up Diego Lopes, because one thing I've noticed in some of Diego Lopez's longer running fights, like fights where he goes the distance or goes into the third round and stuff, he slows down pretty bad. I know Sadiq Yusuff gassed against Edson Barbosa in their 5-round main event, but honestly, I understand why Sadiq Yusuff gassed out, because he hit Edson Barbosa with legitimately everything he had. As somebody who picked Edson Barbosa and bet on Edson Barbosa, I was not expecting him to get out of that first round, and I certainly wasn't expecting him to make it through the second, third, fourth, and fifth rounds either. But he did. But I've noticed Diego Lopez does slow down a little bit in the later rounds. His submission attempts aren't as frequent. His striking's a little bit more labored. I think his takedowns are going to be worse, even though he doesn't really go for them. And I think Sadiq Yusuff, man. Sadiq Yusuff is hurtable. Sadiq Yusuff, I think, is submittable for Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez has got nasty jiu-jitsu. But I think there's going to be opportunities for Sadiq Yusuff to catch Diego Lopez clean coming in, because he keeps his head right there, and it's right there to be hit. I see Sadiq Yusuff clipping Diego Lopez with a huge counter shot and hurting him bad. I do. I don't know. All these matchups, every single guy has ways to win these fights, and it's really interesting. I think I'm going to go with Sadiq Yusuff. I think he's going to clip Diego Lopez pretty bad in like the second round and win himself the second and third rounds. I think he's going to win a decision, like a 29-28 decision over Diego Lopez. I think so, yeah. Moving up to women's bantamweight, Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. Holly Holm's 42, fellas. She can get the early bird special at Denny's, you know what I'm saying? Like, Kayla Harrison's on steroids. I'm just going to go with Kayla Harrison. I think she's going to destroy Holly Holm, win a decision, yada, 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 whatever. Moving up to featherweight, Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. Speaking of another fight that I've gone back and forth on. Fuck, dude. This card is so sick. Guys, I'm going with Aljamain Sterling. I'm going with Aljamain Sterling in this fight. I know he lost to Sean O'Malley. I know he got countered. Calvin Kattar's 36, coming off of a horrific knee injury and like 2 years off. I'm not sure how he's going to look. Is he going to look like the guy who beat the dog piss out of Giga Chikadze? I don't know. Maybe, but he also might look like a fucking ghost out there. And that's kind of what I'm worried about. Aljamain Sterling, I think, is going to be revitalized at 145. His striking isn't great, but it's weird and it's awkward, and it gives a lot of people weird looks. Like, guys like Kattar are used to fighting guys with very orthodox striking who are going to try and outbox him and knock him out. Aljamain Sterling's striking is very weird. It's very pokey. It's very proddy, and he likes to keep the range with kicks and things like that. So I think Aljamain can hang a little bit in the striking with Kattar if he just stays smart and doesn't run straight into a pullback counter like a bozo. And I think in the grappling, it's a wash. I do. I think if Aljamain Sterling gets Kattar down or gets to his back, I think he will submit him. I think Calvin Kattar's really good, though. Good power in his hands and elbows. Good, clean boxing. Decent takedown defense, but I think Aljo will be able to get him down. I also think Aljo will have a strength advantage in this fight. I also kind of like that Calvin Kattar's a little bit taller than Aljamain Sterling. It's going to be easier for Aljo to find the hips. It would be harder for Aljo to find the hips on a shorter guy than a taller guy. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Aljamain Sterling here. I think he's going to... I think he can submit Calvin Kattar. I also think he can win a decision here. I'll be bold. I'll go with the submission. I think he'll submit Calvin Kattar here in this fight. Closing out the prelims at light heavyweight. This is the prelims, by the way. We're closing out the prelims. Yuri Prochazka versus Alexander Rakic. I'm going with Alexander Rakic, you guys. I just think it's a bad matchup for Yuri. Because Alexander Rakic is a guy who's able to slow down fights to a fucking crawl sometimes to his detriment. He makes a lot of fights boring sometimes. He's a very technical kickboxer. He's got very nasty leg kicks, and his quads are the size of like the average sized man. And Yuri Prochazka does not like leg kicks very much. Uh, you saw it in the Pereira fight. He took like two and he was on his ass. I think Rakic is going to be able to just kind of point fight him. I don't think he's going to engage super frequently in the dogfight that Yuri Prochazka wants. I think he's going to be able to circle out and just keep prodding Yuri Prochazka at range. I also think if there's any grappling, I think Alexander Rakic will have a distinct advantage there. I definitely think he's stronger than Yuri Prochazka because Alexander Rakic looks like he's on fucking steroids. Uh, he's very big. He's very strong. His kickboxing's very clean. Uh, I want to pick Yuri. I really do because I like him a lot more than Rakic, but I just obviously Yuri can just fucking waterfall crash in and clip Alexander Rakic and knock him out. He obviously can do that. I don't know. You know, Rakic is coming off a knee injury. He might have some ring rust. Ugh. I'm going with Rakic. I think he's going to win a decision. I don't know. I hate to say that, but that's just what I think is going to happen. Opening up our main card at middleweight, Bo Nickal versus Cody Brundage. Let's go, Cody Brundage. Yeah. No, Bo Nickal should win this fight unless he does something absolutely insanely stupid, or Cody Brundage hits him with like a rolling thunder kick in the first 10 seconds. Cody Brundage fucking sucks. He got out grappled by Cedric Dumas. Jacob Malkoun was beating his brain in through the back of his head. He got a kind of a fluky slam win in his last fight. Bo Nickal should just maug him, brutally maug him. I think he'll submit Cody Brundage. I don't know. I feel like Cody Brundage is able to be subbed. Here we go. Here we go, team. Moving up to lightweight, Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. Guys, you see the fit. Do you see the fit? You see it, right? How's that looking? I'm going with Arman Tsarukyan. This fight I watched a few fights for this one specifically. I didn't watch as much tape and shit as I normally like to because I've been sick as fuck. But I think this fight boils down to legitimately whichever one of these guys hurts the other first is going to win. I think the first person who hurts the other immediately begins the finishing sequence. Because I see this going two ways. Arman Tsarukyan hurts Charles Oliveira on the feet. Charles falls back into guard. Arman follows him into his guard. And Arman beats the shit out of him with ground and pound. Because Arman's ground and pound is fucking nasty. He is aggressive as shit if you give him a dominant position on top. Like, I rewatched the Joel Alvarez fight. He beat the brakes off of Joel Alvarez. It was fucking horrific. And the second he got Joaquim Silva down into a dominant position on the ground, he just drilled his head through the ground. That's what I'm worried about if Charles Oliveira falls back into guard like he normally does when he gets wobbled. But on the flip side, I also see Charles Oliveira being able to hurt Arman Tsarukyan. And Arman Tsarukyan, his first instinct when he gets hurt is going to be he wants a takedown because that's where safety is. He's a wrestler. He's going to want a takedown if he gets wobbled or if he gets hurt. The problem in that lies you're shooting a takedown while concussed, wobbled, equilibrium might not be there against, on paper, the most lethal submission artist in UFC history. So I'm very torn on this fight because I think both guys have clear paths to victory here. Arman Tsarukyan, obviously the better offensive wrestler. He's got much nastier ground and pound. I think Charles Oliveira has a striking advantage here on the feet. I think he has a jiu-jitsu advantage as well. I don't think it's as big as people think, though, because Arman's top position and his offensive wrestling is so dominant. He can make jiu-jitsu positions work just because of how strong he is and how well he can grapple. Ooh, who do I go with? I'm in a Charles Oliveira shirt right now, dude. This one and the main event have been the two that have torn me to my core. I just don't fucking know. Guys, would you hate me if I said I'm going with Arman Tsarukyan? I would hate myself. I'm going with Charles Oliveira. Suck my dick. Charles Oliveira is going to chin this little freak into oblivion in like round two. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. We're moving up to lightweight. Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Guys, I'm going with Max Holloway over Justin Gaethje. The line on this has changed a lot. Max Holloway used to be like a plus 200. Uh, it's definitely narrowed down as the fight's gotten closer. I think people have woken up a little bit. I'm going with Max Holloway here over Justin Gaethje. I just kind of feel like when this fight first got announced, I was like, oh, Gaethje's going to kill him. That's what I thought immediately. And now, the closer the fight gets, I'm like, nah, I think Max might beat the fucking dog shit out of Justin Gaethje, honestly. Um, I think Holloway is going to have a cardio advantage here. I think he honestly is going to have a durability advantage here. I think he honestly might even have a grappling advantage here. He certainly doesn't have a power advantage, though. Justin Gaethje has power in all four of his limbs. I think the power in his hands is a little overblown by people. And then I see a lot of people like, oh, Justin Gaethje, but those leg kicks, man. I'm like, yeah, he does have some pretty nasty leg kicks. But my thing is, Max Holloway fought Volkanovski 3 times and Jose Aldo twice. Both of those guys are better leg kickers than Justin Gaethje. Uh, Justin Gaethje's might be more powerful, maybe, but I don't know if they're set up better or if he throws them faster. I don't think so. Uh, I just think Max Holloway, as this fight gets deeper, I think he's just gonna start to put it on Justin Gaethje, man. You know, a lot of people like to read into that first Dustin Poirier fight. I don't think you can. It was a long time ago. Max Holloway did not look like a lightweight in that fight. He looked like a fat 145er. He has a full camp for this fight. He's looked a lot bigger. He doesn't have the fat face. He looks a lot more muscular. Maximus Holloway, some would say. I think he's built himself up into this weight class, and I think he's going to deliver a legacy performance here against Justin Gaethje. Obviously, there's danger everywhere when you're fighting Justin Gaethje. The dude is like a whirlwind of legs and feet. So this is probably my pick for fight of the night easily. But yeah, I think I'm going with Max Holloway. I just think he's going to be able to put it on Justin Gaethje in the later rounds and get himself a decision. I think. I think so. Yeah. Moving up to the co-main event at women's strawweight, Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan. Guys, I'm going with Zhang Weili. I think this line is a little wide though. I think Yan Xiaonan has really good striking, and I think she has the ability to catch Zhang Weili on the feet. I think if this was a kickboxing match, they would be like even money. The problem is the absolute chasm of a gap between the grappling of Zhang Weili and Yan Xiaonan. Zhang Weili's coming off of probably the most dominant female title performance I've ever fucking seen against Amanda Lemos. Like, if you don't have takedown defense, Zhang Weili is going to beat the holy hell out of you. And Yan Xiaonan really cannot defend a takedown to save her life. Like, on the feet, I would say it's even. On the ground, it's a wash. I gotta go with Zhang Weili here. I think she's gonna get a TKO over Yan Xiaonan. I think she's just gonna ground and pound her out, honestly. Yan Xiaonan does have a fair shot at catching Zhang Weili on the feet. She has very nice boxing, very nice counter punches. So it's definitely possible. But I feel like Zhang's the side here. I think the line is wide, though. But I'm going with Zhang Weili by like TKO in like rounds 3 or 4, something like that. Closing out UFC 300 for the light heavyweight title. Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. Oh, god damn, this fight. I've gone back and forth so much on this fight. But I'm going with Jamal Hill over Alex Pereira. I just am. There's something about Jamal. Now, my pick for Jamal Hill, if Jamal Hill wasn't coming off of a Achilles surgery, I would be 1,000 times more confident in him winning this fight. The Achilles surgery largely is what makes me hesitant on picking him in this fight. I think Jamal Hill's straight punches are going to chew up Alex Pereira. I just do. Rewatching like the Yuri fight with Pereira and some of the Adesanya fights, he does really bad with straight punches sometimes, dude. Like Yuri was catching him up against the cage a lot. The problem was Yuri would get too close. He would throw his straight punches and he would get within a range where Alex Pereira could like kiss him and he would just throw that tight counter hook and just slept him. I don't think Jamal Hill's going to do that. I don't think Jamal Hill's going to get into a technical kickboxing battle with Alex Pereira. I don't think thinks he can win a technical kickboxing battle with Alex Pereira. But I think he can win a boxing battle with Alex Pereira. I think if he forces the boxing range and keeps to his straight punches, I think he can hurt Pereira. And I think he can hurt him often with his punches. I think Jamal Hill's going to beat Alex Pereira by TKO in like rounds 2 or 3. I really do. I think, Alex Pereira can leg kick Jamal Hill, and Jamal Hill is there to be leg kicked. There's not a lot of telegraph when Alex Pereira throws it. So I am worried about that, especially with the bum leg that might not be all the way there. But I still, even with that, I think Jamal Hill can win this fight. I obviously think Pereira can win this fight too. But I don't know. Something about Jamal Hill's just been talking to me lately. And watching their fights, Jamal Hill is nasty, dude. I know a lot of people like to shit on the Glover performance, like, oh my god, he couldn't finish a 42-year-old Glover Teixeira. It was like one of the most dominant title wins in like recent history. And if you really want to fucking argue semantics, Alex Pereira couldn't finish a 42-year-old Jan Blachowicz either. Matter of fact, he went to a split decision, if I'm remembering that correctly. So there you go. Also, Pereira's 36, got a lot of mileage on him as far as damage taken goes. And I feel like Jamal Hill, man, he is riding an insane amount of confidence in this fight. And I like the Southpaw v Orthodox matchup here. I just think the straight punches are going to be able to catch Alex Pereira. Yeah, I do. I think I'm going with Jamal Hill by TKO over Alex Pereira. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like. I appreciate it so much. And I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.